everyone, welcome to the OCAD Artist Alley online store information panel. So here's a basic introduction of what we do. So we are a Toronto-based event that has supported students, alumnus of OCAD University. We host pop-up market to encourage OCAD students as artists and small businesses. The general event has a physical presence at OCAD University, but because of the pandemic this year, we decided to do it virtual. Apart from me being the moderator here, I will also have Salisa Jetavirapan as the moderator. Salisa, would you like to say hi and introduce yourself, please?
Oh, sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Lisa. I'm the founder of this project, but stepped down, or I'm just advising nowadays. So Kalora's going to be asking questions here. I'm just here in case something goes wrong or the internet cuts off or anything. But yeah, nice to see you all.
Thank you, Salisa. We're nice to have you here. Apart from that, we're honored to have Anusha Rashvaran as our student union present here. Anusha, would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Hi, I'm Anusha from the SU, the administrative assistant. I'm just here to help facilitate, but yeah, so Lisa and Kalora will be hosting.
Thank you, Anusha. Now we will have our 6 panelists. We're really grateful for them to make the time and effort to be here and answer a question. So if you have any question today, just feel free to ask them. Don't be shy. So we will have Jeanne Gamboa, Hoyle, Michael SK, Melissa Fang, Natalie Varibi, and Stephanie Cho. So Jeanne Gamboa, would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Jeanne Gamboa. You could also call me Jem if it's easier. I go by she, her. I sell on Etsy. I sell sticker sheets, sticker packs, and a lot of bullet journaling sticker stationery stuff. I only started my store pretty recently for around 6 months, I think. And I'm excited to see what everyone else has to offer. And I'm excited to learn from you all.
Thank you. Wow, for 6 months, you have made such a big progress. We definitely need to learn from you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So next is Hoyle. Would you like to introduce yourself, please, if you're here?
Hi, everyone. My name is Suki, and you can also call me Hoyi, and I go by she and her. And the platform I'm currently using for my online shop is Wix. And I'm a jeweler, and I make and sell jewelry. And I've been doing my brand for about 2 years now. And I've been doing that part-time, but with COVID right now, I'm working full-time as a goldsmith for another jewelry brand.
Okay, thank you so much, Suki. Most of us maybe just do illustration, but we're good to have some people do 3D material things like jewelry. So we are looking forward to hear your story.
Thank you.
So for the next one is Mikael. Would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Hi.
Hello, Mikael.
I'm well. How are you? Thank you. My name is Michael. I'm a designer slash entrepreneur and a small business owner. I have a brand called MSK. I mainly specialize in jewelry, illustration, and woodworking, and clothing. And I mainly sell on Etsy. You can find me on Etsy at MSK Creation, on Instagram at MSK Creates, and my website is mskshop.ca.
Thank you so much, Michael. Okay, so the next one is Melissa. Would you like to introduce yourself, please?
My name is Melissa. I go by she or her. You can also call me Mel. I run a small Etsy shop, and I mainly sell vinyl stickers and enamel pins, and I do occasional prints. I mainly work as a 3D artist, so I work at a VR game studio, and I am currently working on a game for the Oculus Quest. And I've been doing my shop since 2018 and doing conventions since 2017. And that's it.
Thank you so much, Melissa. You know what? From your studio, we can see that you're a very hardworking designer or artist. So definitely looking forward to hear your experience. Okay, the next one will be Natalie. Would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Hi, my name is Natalie Verby, and I've been working as a full-time illustrator since 2016 when I graduated from OCAD. I run an Etsy store, and it has become a full-time endeavor for me. So there's lots of stuff that I have in there, prints, stickers, some pins, a lot of custom products as well. And yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. We're happy to have you too. Well, I guess owning an online store or own small business as a full-time job is many artists' dream. So we would like to hear your story. Okay. The last one will be Stephanie Cho. Would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Hi, my name is Steph and I go by she and her. I've been running my shop on Etsy since 2013. I sell stickers, pins, bags, apparel, jewelry, and a lot of other things on there. And I used to run my shop part-time, but I run it full-time now from home. And yeah, thanks for having me.
We're happy to have you too. Thank you for coming. Okay, so now is the question section. We have collected some commonly asked questions, which you can hardly Google it from online to get the answer. We're going to answer these questions first, and then you guys will have the free time to ask whatever question you have. So, the smart panelist, the first question is, how are you pricing work? Is there a specific formula used depending on cost of material, shipping, or do you charge yourself by the hours? Thank you for answering the question.
You can just like raise your hand if you want to, or not raise your hand, just speak up if you want to talk.
Yeah, just speak up.
Okay, I'll start. So I have an Excel sheet where I break down the process into stages, and I give a generous estimate for each step hours, all the way from the source of materials to packaging the finished product. I think it's important to consider what a realistic hourly wage for yourself would be. You know, not to undersell yourself, but not to overcharge. And then, of course, to add expenses. When I first started, I gave myself $20 an hour because that was just what I was getting at my last job. And I figured that switching over to what I was doing for somebody else to my own business for the same wage was a great deal. But yeah, I think it's not an objective right answer. Like you can get different formulas on Google for how to price certain things, but I think you should try out kind of what works for you. So that's my 2 cents.
I personally don't have a formula. I go off what I think it's really important to Google very similar products or go on Etsy and find similar products to what you're trying to sell and see how they're priced and how much people are actually willing to pay, because you can be paying yourself $20 or $25 an hour and overcharging so much that nobody will buy it, and then you're wasting your time on the listings. So try, when you're just beginning, I would say try to start low. Don't try to price yourself very high if you don't have any reviews on Etsy, and start moving up. If you see the products are selling, start charging a little bit more over time and arrive at a price that makes sense for you and that you're not feeling like you hate what you're doing. Because if you pay yourself enough, you're going to enjoy the process as well.
I agree with Natalie when you say like not to overprice. I only recently started kind of selling my own work, and the reason why I started is because I used to buy a lot of stickers. So I kind of decided my pricing based on what I would buy myself and what I think is a reasonable price if I were to buy that product somewhere else, in my opinion. And definitely looking around at other products, especially on Etsy, that are similar to yours is a good stepping stone and seeing where you think the pricing lays.
I agree with what everyone else has said because a lot of my products, they are on more of like whatever range it is that's on Etsy right now. So I try to keep my stuff based off of whatever I see that's similar, or I do it by production cost. So I use either third-party production or I make myself using a Cricut at home. So it really depends what you're selling and what you're trying to make. So I would say price it based on what's justified on that.
Yeah, I think I agree with what pretty much everyone else said. I do calculate based on what the goods are worth, and I include shipping into that. And I also include things like shop fees and packaging, and yeah.
For me, I think I'm similar with Steph also. Like I calculate all the overhead costs and also my material, and also I would plus my hours that it takes to create the piece, and also like do a retail price for that and include shipping. So I think I'm similar with everyone else for jewelry as well.
Any more addition to the question, please? So I would like to hear from the public. Do you have any more question about this question?
Yeah, I'm going to be monitoring the chat. So if any of you want to drop questions in the chat, we'll have a big Q&A at the end. We're taking questions just from you guys. Also, if any of you want to tweet this or like post it on social media right now, you just use the hashtag OCAD Artist Alley. That's it.
Okay, thank you all the panelists answering this question. It seemed to be very straightforward, like breaking down all shipping, packaging. So I would like to move to the next question. So the next question is, what are the affordable and reliable way to ship locally and internationally? Shipping is a really important thing for us, because if the product sells very cheap price, and then the shipping might take a huge part of the cost and we can hardly get any money. So are there any recommended way for shipping concerning the company? How can we minimize the shipping cost? Shipping time.
I guess it depends on what you kind of sell. So I deal mainly with vinyl stickers, enamel bones, and a lot of my stuff are relatively small. So I'm lucky enough where I can ship it by letter mail, and it's just very low cost. If anything that's a bigger package, there's always Chit Chats. That's really good for US packets. And then if you're doing more local, you could just stick to Canada Post, and that's mainly the ones that I use.
Okay. Thank you, Melissa. It seems to be it's quick to cover all the content. Would you like to type in the chat, please, for the recommended post office? Thank you. Is there any other panelists who would like to share your idea? Is everyone pretty much the same with Melissa?
So for international shipping, I tend to go, with trusted carriers like Canada Post or something like that, where it's reliable for me and it's also well received by the client as well for that reliability. This might sound a little silly for some people, but if it's local enough, within TTC range for myself, sometimes I just deliver the packages myself. Saves me a trip to go to the shoppers, and if it's just 25 minutes more and $15 less than shipping, yeah, sometimes it's worth it to just drop the packages off myself. Give it a little personal touch.
That's such a good idea. We might can open a micro delivery in the future. Just kidding. So does anyone has more additional ideas?
I see someone in the chat. Yeah, someone in the chat mentioned shipping things by letter mail for, let's say, keychains or charms. I do that a lot actually, just to have affordable shipping for my customers. So I will ship keychains and pins and stuff like that in bubble mailers through letter mail. Now, the thing is that letter mail is not tracked. So in case it does go missing, you should have something in your shop policy about that.
Just a quick question. Does any of you have your mail being checked or unchecked?
I generally keep my stuff to letter mail because a lot of my stuff is so small that it only costs like a permanent postage stamp or the oversized size like stamp, which is like $1.94. So luckily a lot of my stuff is small enough. And for just expanding on what she said earlier, so there's like a small size, I'm not sure you can see. So that's like the minimum size that you can have for anything that's kind of like letter mail. So anything that's oversized or just by a small envelope.
Okay. What about shipping the jewelry for some of you do 3D art?
So for jewelry, everything I ship is tracked. So it's just for ensuring that it arrives safely, because I think all the pieces that I sell, it's around at least $50 to $100. So having it tracked, it gives more security for the customer, and in general, it's better to where it's going. And if it's lost, then you can still reach out to the carrier and ask them where it is and do all that.
Okay, thank you so much. It looks like this question has been pretty much answered. So the next question, everyone. So what are some of your tips for effective self-promotion? So promotion is very important for each artist like us. And we started mainly as small businesses. And so how do you promote yourself as a small business?
For me, it's posting, I guess, semi-regularly and interacting with kind of potential customers, or kind of posting more is just a good way to keep your customers entertained, I guess, or keep your customers coming back.
Okay, so would that be like Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter? Any
Yes.
recommended platform? Okay.
Instagram for me. Instagram is definitely, and just posting on your stories is also a big factor, so people can see it almost daily at the very top. It's very helpful to just interact.
Well, I feel very happy to open the Instagram every time to see you all posting so many stories. Especially Natalie, I saw you post so many cool things about the mural recently. Thank you.
Yeah, I think stories is a great way to keep people engaged, especially if you're not gonna post on a certain day. Make sure that you keep with your stories and you kind of keep them throughout the day, not just 3 or 5 stories at once, because that people tend to skip. But also involve people in the process of making your stuff. So let's say you receive a new batch of stickers, kind of make them excited about wanting to receive one. So post a bunch of photos. If you have the option to do the swipe up link after you have 10K on Instagram, you can always redirect them to your store. Kind of keep people wanting to get more stuff and keep it fresh with new things as well. And that really gets repeat customers from the same people.
Yeah, as kind of aforementioned just now, I think it's really important to post regularly on social media. That's the key to advertising on social media, is posting consistently. I think there are also kind of guerrilla ways to advertise yourself. For example, I think it's a good idea to have an inexpensive set of merch for yourself that's recognizably yours, like with your logo or a design of yours or something like that, like maybe stickers or pins or something like that you could perhaps even give out as a promotion or include with other orders. I think the best advertisement is always word of mouth. So the key is to really just get people talking and friends talking, or even mentioning or pointing something out. To something that's put on somebody's backpack or somebody's laptop is always a great thing to do.
Mhm. Well, it definitely works to have many physical presence of your works in the public.
Oh, and one more thing is to be patient with yourself. You're not gonna be insta famous in one day. So it's kind of like with exercise. You can't just exercise one day a month and then expect results. You have to keep doing this very consistently, and your follower base and your fan base and client base is gonna keep growing over time. And you just have to give yourself the space to be creative and to keep posting and always answer people's messages, always answer their comments. Try to show yourself as the person, not just the maker, because people need to relate to you and they can't if they don't see you as a person. So that's a good way to do it in the stories as well, to share bits of your life.
That's good. So everyone, if you have any question about how to increase the Instagram follower, it seems to be Natalie have a lot of follower on her Instagram account, so it's good to ask her. So our next question is, this one seems to be a quite important one for all of us because we devote a lot of time to create our work and want our works to be protected. So has any of you have experience where your works have been stolen and sold? How would you copyright and protect your artwork from being plagiarized?
I'll start off, I guess. I actually have had my work stolen before.
Oh no.
One of my followers sent a photo of it, and it was actually someone from Turkey who saw my art on Pinterest, and they decided to redraw it, sell it as a tote bag, which is actually what I was selling it as well. So after a lot of time, I actually contacted them and they wouldn't take it down. And then they even hosted a giveaway on Twitter and they got like tons of followers and stuff like that. But in the end, they took it down and they blocked me and like everyone else that had mentioned me on their posts and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Oh, okay. Did you go through any legal process for it, or you just?
Since my shop is still very small, I didn't go through the copyright process because I know a big company that did, and it took them 2 years to get copyright on a single design, and just legal fees were it.
I'm sorry to hear that. I'm happy that you go through to solve this problem. So personally, I suggest everyone do it. So on the Canadian government website, you can submit your authorship or copyright sheet. So you will get a form with your copyright sheet. So this means your works have been legally protected by your name at least. So for mine, it's art by Color Tao. And I do suggest every one of you, when you post the image on Instagram, maybe have a small caption saying copyright whoever. So just to give those people like threatening them, hey, don't touch my work. I hope this will help.
Yeah, kind of to that point, one thing that I really like to do with my jackets is that I include an illustration print, and then part of the design is actually my logo, which is my initials. So when you make it part of the design, it makes it very difficult to steal the work without having your own logo and signature on there, basically. So I think that's also a good thing to keep in mind.
By the way, did you also keep profile with the government of your name or copyright? Michael, did you also keep copyrights your name with the government?
Oh, sorry. No, I did not go through the legal process of copywriting, but I think the visual process is actually an effective enough deterrent that I don't need to go through the trouble of that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because like I read through online, if you have a copyright with the government, you can legally take those people to the court if they invade your right. So I fill out the form. It only takes like less than 30 minutes to fill it out, and the cost, I remember, is less than $40, and they will have it ship it in your house less than a week. So definitely good to try it. I will post it out on a chat later. The next question, yes.
We have a quick question in the chat group. They ask, can you go over how to get your pieces copyrighted once more?
Okay. You mean put in the group chat?
Or just maybe quickly summarize the steps.
I think Kalora mentioned she would put the link to the site in the chat.
Okay. So Salisa, would you like to lead the following question? So I will search out for the link. Or I can read it out the next question. So you guys can discuss about it and then I will look it up. So the question for the next one is, are you guys part of any artist and designer communities, whether virtually or in person, that you look to support and inspiration?
So I'm a part of a Canadian Artist Alley network. So what it is, it's basically a bunch of my friends. We started a Discord group. I can drop the invite link later on. What it is that it's a bunch of artists who are willing to share their manufacturers. We do group orders, and we kind of just network ourselves because a lot of us do conventions like Fan Expo, Comic Con, IFF, and this, just like all the different variations of them. And that's the network that I'm mainly a part of. And we have an online website where we display our shops as well. And that way it's just easier for people to browse for things.
So I was a part of a collective. I still am a part of a collective called Unify, which is short for Unify Art and Design, which basically the premise of it was to gather different creatives from all around all of the creative industries, from textiles and poetry to furniture making and carpentry and metalwork and all that, and basically kind of put them in one group and allow them to learn from each other. And I think that was really profound because of how diverse the type of work was. And it really helped everybody round themselves out to maybe things that they wanted to know or things that they didn't know before that really helped them. So I would definitely encourage anybody to join some kind of creative collective, especially if it's a multidisciplinary one. There's also a great workspace called Artscape, which features a jewelry shop, a textile shop, a music recording studio, a photography green room, etc. It's got lots of different creatives part of that as well, which is also a great place. So really any shared artist space where there's, again, multidisciplinary media is a great way to learn from other artists, because there's just so much knowledge out there that is meant for us to learn from each other, you know? So that's my 2 cents on that.
Any more addition to this question, please? Oh, okay, sounds to be like we are being finished with this question. I just post the copyright information in the group chat, so you can see the link and with the application form to fill out and send to Canadian government. You can protect your story, music, graphic, jewelry, everything. So so we have such an age that people can see your Instagram posts from everywhere in the world. So it's better to put your copyright name on your post and then post it out. Otherwise, some people might thinking, okay, if it is in the public, then it's mine. Okay, we have 2 more questions. Do any of you sell your work at third-party retailer, and would you recommend it? This is like you send your print to one company, have it printed out, and then company will send it to the client straight away instead of deliver to your home, and then you repack it and send it to the client.
I used to at the beginning because I was worried that I guess I wouldn't make enough income just through my own store, and I was looking for different avenues, such as Society 6, or there's many other options. And I still keep getting, a million emails about joining stores like that, just take your design and then they print it on whatever you want. From my experience, it's not great. I never really made more than, I'm not even gonna say, but it just didn't make sense for me to have my items on a store like that. For some people, it could definitely work. So it's kind of a passive income. You don't have to do anything. It just kind of accumulates. But in my experience, I've never had any luck. And focusing on my own store is kind of just what worked for me.
Yeah, I also I have not tried. I've heard of Society 6 and similar retailers like that, and I've considered them. But I think it does take away a bit from the feeling of a personal touch of an artisan with a small business, because I feel like that's what the appeal is. That's a big part of the appeal of any kind of products we're selling, whether it's pins or illustration prints or jewelry. I think a huge part of the appeal is that it's handmade, and we have to really channel that, and we have to capitalize on that. And so when we, when we go through third-party retailers, I think it takes away just a little bit from the handmade aspect of it, whether it be the print or the delivery. So yeah, I think it's better to kind of keep control of your own store and your own merchandise, whether it's through Etsy or something like that. Yeah.
I also felt the same way as both of you said. Not only kind of the personal aspect, I like adding freebies or adding a personal touch to each of my customers, or adding, if in their message to me they kind of say something particular like, oh, I really like this character, I'll draw that character for them, just to make sure that each person feels like they're getting a piece of me, which is what my art is. It's kind of a piece of me. And in addition to that, a lot of these third parties, such as Society 6 or Redbubble, they take a lot of your like their shipping costs. There's like a lot of more costs for us as an artist, and like ordering from them isn't kind of the same. So I started off with Etsy, but I guess if you wanted to kind of see how people would kind of take your art, maybe those third party places would be a good idea, without kind of having that just putting your foot into it, I guess.
Okay, because of the time issue, we'll jump to the next question. So, what are some difficulties and problems you came across when you first start out? How did you solve them?
Can you repeat that?
Okay, sorry. What are some difficulties and problems you came across when you first started out? How did you solve them?
I think for anybody watching that's kind of thinking or considering to do their own startup or to start selling their own things, definitely one of the biggest obstacles is psychological, is discouragement, because you compare yourself to brands that are already established, or you look at other stores and how they're doing, and it seems so daunting that you're not getting any sales, or that nobody's really responding to your posts or liking your photos that you post online or whatever it is. I just want to say that it's always, no matter how good your work is, it's always going to be a slow and gradual movement up. And it's never going to be one big thing that blows you up into success. It's going to be a series of little things, all of which are important, that you need to put your time into. And it's just, it's a grind. That's what it is. It's not just get rich overnight. Nobody has that happen to them. So all I want to say is to stay encouraged, to stay posting consistently on social media, to continue making things, and I promise you it'll get traction.
Okay, thank you, Michael. I guess fear is the #1 enemy to start up the online store business. Well, compared to Van Gogh, we might be better because he only sell one pieces of his work in the world. So we're going to be do better than that. So don't worry, everyone. Any more difficulties, or seem to be you guys are pretty successful?
I think for me, I think the biggest thing that I always have trouble even now is like figuring out what your brand is about and trying to stay true to that. So I think for me to solve that, I would be constantly like looking at myself and asking myself questions like, why do I want to make these things? And why do I want people to buy them or wear them? And I tend to not look at what's out there that much because I think it's really easy to get over inspired or distracted from what you see. So instead, I would really just try to think in my brain what I want to make. And I believe like since we're all different, we all have crazy ideas in our brain. So yeah, I try to not get inspired by other people too much and focus on ourselves and figure out what you like and what you want to make.
Yes, stay true to yourself, everyone, because everyone is unique. If you follow other people's step, then you cannot be unique and you don't have found your place in this world. So the main key for opening your own store is staying unique. Otherwise, people can go to other people's store to get the same product like yours. So what's the point? Okay, now the most exciting part. Everyone, feel free to ask questions now. So you can, I encourage you to open a video or audio to speak out, or you can actually type it down in the chat.
Yeah, and Kalora, we also have some that have been collected from earlier. They're
Would you like
in
to
the
lead
shared
it,
doc. Okay, I can make them out. From Yusra, sorry if I messed up your name. Yusra is asking, if you guys make a full-time living off your creative freelance practices, what would you recommend for people who are planning to make the switch to freelancing full-time?
Yes. So I work full-time as an artist, and it's definitely possible to make enough to have a very comfortable living doing art, but you have to keep in mind it's not just your Etsy store. It's not just this or that. It's a multitude of different things that make your entire practice a livable career. So for me, that includes being a muralist. That includes being a workshop facilitator, doing custom commissions, selling my products, participating in bigger things such as creative collectives, doing projects, getting yourself out there and trying different things and really can really allow you to become self-sustainable. And always never settling, I think, is also really important, because once you settle on one thing, it can become boring, it can be tedious. So always just keep your eyes open to different avenues. And if you put enough work into it, you can definitely create a living for yourself.
Yeah, I definitely agree with Natalie in the aforementioned statement. I think it's really important to diversify your income as much as you can. The chances are that if you're a creative, you're capable of more than one thing. And it would really be beneficial to kind of explore it and see how much you can offer the world, because chances are you can, just as Natalie said, you can do much more than just one kind of work to make money for yourself and not put all your eggs in one basket, so to speak.
So for me, I work as a I work as a 3D artist full time. So I work at a game company and that's the main majority of where I spend my time. My Etsy store is like my part-time hobby, and it's something that's just there consistently and you make passive income from, and it's really good to kind of branch onto different aspects of like your creativity. So I guess in terms of people who are working full-time, because I work 9 to 5, I spend 3 to 2 hours on my store alone, and then I spend time doing my own personal work as well. So it really depends on how you kind of time your day.
Okay, thank you. Anything to add, or should we move on? Okay. So then the next question is, and maybe we should just like do a round table and everyone just answer like one word. So from Diane, which social media platform was the most effective for getting customers for you?
Let's see Instagram.
I was gonna say Instagram, just because I feel like Instagram is definitely one of the mainstream, if not the most mainstream platforms, and its focus is very visual, so it plays a huge advantage to visual artists. Also, another great thing is that Instagram is one of the platforms that can link to Shopify. So Shopify is one of the platforms that I use to sell my items, and you can actually tag items in your posts on Instagram to then directly sell through Shopify, and it's a great platform. So I think Instagram is definitely one of the main ones to go by.
For me, I found that Instagram, but not only Instagram, but Twitter is a very helpful place because of the retweet option. It's easier to get across people's timelines because of multiple people sharing it. So it kind of lets you put your work out into the world without you kind of knowing where it goes. But I use majority of the work of posts in Instagram.
I use mainly Instagram, and I use their shop option. You just have to apply for it for as long as you have a Facebook page linked to it, and then you have a catalog, and you can start your shop and have that process start. And then I also use their ads occasionally, which is like you set a certain amount of budgets and you promote your work that way, and that's what I mainly use.
Oh, Suki?
So I also only use Instagram right now, and I have tried their promotion option, but I think it really just depends on how well you lay out your page. So I don't think that really helped that much. So yeah.
Okay, thanks. And Steph, I think the last person. Steph, are you there? Steph is frozen for me, I think. Steph, if you wanted to say something in the chat, go ahead. I think otherwise we'll move on to the next question. All right. And this one can get pretty long, I feel like. How important is it for artists, designers, and makers to be involved in changing the world? Or is it okay for them to just make art for art's sake? As makers, do we have a responsibility to add something better into the world through our art? Some deep thoughts here. Anyone want to start?
I don't think you have a responsibility to do anything than having a respectful existence. Just because you're an artist doesn't make you the savior of the world. If you want to, however, to have an impact through your creativity, I think this is a perfect venue to implement change in the world, show people there's many things you can show. For example, I am a body positivity advocate, and through my artwork, what I do is I try to create the awareness that none of us is perfect, and you can love yourself the way that you are because you're unique and special. And at the same time, I'm also studying art therapy. So from this perspective, art is a healing tool, And that healing tool can be just for yourself, and that's fine. You don't have the responsibility to help others, but you can if you have the capacity within you to do so.
I agree
Well,
with Nat. Oh,
Oh, sorry. Okay, I would just like to add a little bit thing. Well, it's most about meaning rather than making this, because all of us is doing something that we are finding is meaningful. So if you are true to your meaning and true to yourself, every piece of art that you make out there in the world will become part of the culture. So I have never knew you have ever heard about this. Like the visual art that we see around us will massage us those concept and idea into your idea slowly. So basically you will have the impact on the world, but don't push yourself too hard. Yeah.
I think, oh, sorry, were you gonna go?
Sorry, Jian, would you like to say anything? Because you were
Oh, yeah.
want to say something.
I just wanted to
Sorry,
add on
Michael.
that, yeah, what Natalie said is it's not your responsibility to do these things, but I guess for me personally, if your art or your product elicits any type of emotional response, whether it be excitement from getting a small sticker package or from anger from how an art piece affects you, you're kind of contributing something, and that's what's important, I think. Go ahead, Michael.
I was just going to say that I think that much like with music, anybody with a platform, with an ability to influence a mass amount of people has an innate social responsibility, whether they ask for it or not, just because of the influence, to have a positive outcome, a positive influence towards everybody that listens to them. I think art is a really powerful tool, as Natalie said. I think it's extremely inspiring for many people. For me, it's caused some major revelations. I think it's something that's definitely meant to be kept in mind for anybody that has an influence over even one person. I think it is a very significant thing to change somebody's outlook on something, let alone multiple people.
Yeah, I love that you brought up social responsibility. I think as artists, we all have to be just like really aware of, somewhat aware when we are sharing our work with the platform. But it's my 2 cents. Anybody else have anything to add for this? Okay, I guess we're moving away from like social responsibility and more into the nitpicky admin stuff. So these next 2 questions are somewhat related. Sydney wants to know about the rules and legalities with starting a self-employed business and selling handmade products concerning the government/laws. How do you get started being self-employed before you have sales? When should you register as a business? I know some of you have, so I'll let you take the floor.
You should register your business ASAP. Basically, the moment you graduate, you register. That's at least what I've been told. And it's a really good practice. You will forget to do this and you will get into the groove of selling stuff, and it will cause some trouble later on with taxes, with GST, with all sorts of stuff. So this is the advice I've gotten from my thesis prof. Just the moment you graduate, you register for your business number.
So my understanding is that legally in Canada, or at least in Ontario, you don't have to register your business until you're making $30,000 a year annually. So until then, you're legally in the clear. I've definitely heard kind of mixed reviews about registering for businesses, for a business license. Some saying that it gives you great tax cuts, which it does. It gives you certain tax benefits, and at the same time, you do have to pay other taxes. To be completely frank, I'm not extremely versed in the legality of this, But I do know that if you are, just trying to maybe sell some illustrations, sell some prints, kind of small scale stuff for now, that definitely won't make you $30,000 in 1 year. If you feel daunted by the legality of it, you don't have to really do anything. You can remain unregistered until you make that profit annually.
So this $30,000, from my understanding of the class I've taken, is that you can start charging tax the moment you reach $30,000. The business registration is a little bit different. You don't have to make that much money to register.
Yeah, I just want to clarify that none of us here are lawyers, as far as I know. So please don't take this as like, yeah, please don't get in trouble because you didn't do your research. So if anybody, do you guys have any resources, like official government resources where people should look to learn these things?
Take Catherine Adams' class. Make sure you don't miss it. It's very important, and everybody at OCAD has to take it. So she will give you literally everything you need in order to start your own business.
Okay. Anybody else, Todd? No? Okay. Then the next thing is somewhat related. We did touch on it about taxes. So I know taxes can get long. So if you guys do have any other like resources as well, mention those. The question is, any tips on how the process of doing the tax income side of business as a side job? Sorry. Yeah, how do you do your taxes? Do you include in your personal income tax or only if you're earning a certain amount of profit?
Well, you should claim all income. If there's an invoice and if there's a proof of sale, you have to claim it. You don't want to get in trouble with government. So try to be very careful with taxes. If you need help, go find an accountant. They know literally everything you need to know about doing your taxes. So be on the safe side. If you don't know how to do it, don't do it by yourself online. There are a lot of websites that allow you to do it by yourself. But again, stay safe, just like with the registration. There's laws going around this. And if you don't have proof of stuff for 7 years, you can really get in trouble. So just keep that in mind. That if you're making money, you claim it.
Thanks, Natalie. Anybody want to add to that?
I also keep track of all my sales on an Excel sheet and all my costs. And I would basically file all that information and give it to my accountant so then he can figure things out. And yeah, I think keeping track of what you sell and be clear on all the tax that you received and all that is really important because you have to figure out how much you need to pay back after. So just make sure, yeah, you be clear and keep track of everything.
Oh, and also keep track of all your expenses because all of your business expenses can be put towards taxes and then you can get actually money back if you didn't make enough money. So it's also really important to just keep all your receipts, keep all the everything, just keep everything that you're using for your business.
All right. Yeah, what tools do you guys use for like the bookkeeping and admin side of your businesses? How does that process work?
Is there a specific software or you just keep it as a physical book?
I just keep, so first of all, you have to keep your receipts anyways. So keep them physical, but also you can use Excel. So Google Sheets is really easy and it's free. So you can make tabs for all the different categories and just keep it that way. And then again, give it to your accountant along with the actual receipts and proof of income and checks that come in, and you should be fine.
I also use Excel for keeping track of all the sales, and I also have like a little folder with like different slots. So I would like throw all the receipts in different like food or like tools and equipment and all that and separate it. And then after like when it's tax season, then you would kind of organize all the dates and everything and then give everything to the accountant.
Yes, Suki, I totally agree with you. So basically, get yourself in the habit of when you come home, let's say you go to a store, to above ground, and you are a registered business. You come home, you get your receipts from your wallet and put it in a special folder. Every day, make sure you keep track of these things. Put them automatically in there. They will never get lost. Keep them in one place. You really don't want to have lost receipts, and let's say there was something very expensive that you bought and then you will not get paid back by the government for taxes. So it's important to stay organized as a maker and as a business owner.
Michael, did you want to say something? I see you want. Oh no, you didn't unmute. So sorry. That was the wrong notification. Yeah, Natalie, I really like that about making habits for yourself. So now we're wondering if you guys can take us through like a day or a week of your work schedule, because it sounds like there's a lot of admin duties and bookkeeping. So how do you balance like creating work and the creative side with that?
So I'm a big believer in organization. I keep a combination of Google Notes with to-do lists and Google Calendar with color-coded tasks to schedule. And I basically do all my admin and logistical work. I leave it for one day in the week, usually Sunday. And I essentially just plan my week out by hour. And it really takes a huge mental load off my days, because I don't have to think about what I have to do. I just kind of, check my to-do list, which is categorized by deadlines and by type of activity. I think my big takeaway from that is that organizing does take a lot of time to do, but it actually saves way more time than it takes to do, realize later on. So yeah, I'm a big, I encourage anybody to schedule their time and to make lists and organize it.
Anybody else? I know you all have some sort of different commitment levels and different like other side gigs while you work, while you maintain your online store. So maybe it'd be interesting to hear from others too.
For me, I'm still pretty new to everything. I'm only in second year and like doing all of this side business as well as my own like illustrations and commissions. I find prioritizing things help. Like for right now, school is a big priority. So I clear everything that has to do with school first, and kind of I organize my time accordingly to that. If for me personally, my shop isn't the biggest priority at the moment because it's only the beginning. So I kind of tone it down in that sense. Kind of priorities are good help.
So for me, I spend the majority of my days or my weeks at my regular full-time job. And then after that, I would take a short break, and then I would spend 2 to 3 hours. And then that would be like a mix of working on my Etsy store, but at the same time, kind of like logging if I was to purchase anything from my store, or if I had a sale, or if there's any upcoming events that I want to participate in. And then I would spend that time solely just on my store and nothing else. So that's how I mainly prioritize my week. And then on Saturdays or Sundays, that's when I would do most of the admin work when it comes to it. And then that's mainly what I do.
Thanks. Anyone else? All right. And if anyone in the audience wants to ask questions, we're nearing the end of the panel. So if you guys want to just speak up, feel free to, or you can definitely drop questions into the chat. Otherwise, we still have our list to go off of. So let's see. What is something you would tell your past self who's just starting out their business?
I would say something about the expenses needed to get all the machines and tools and equipment to get you going. So the mistake that I made was I thought about all the kinds of different machines and tools that I might need, and I purchased a bunch of them, and that was a huge expense. And what I would have done differently if I could go back was only purchase what I need in terms of tools and equipment, one thing at a time, as far as I know what I need to do with it. So, if I need, for example, a sewing machine or a serger, then I just buy a sewing machine or a serger. Then I have another project that requires, let's say, soldering iron. Then I buy a soldering iron. So basically, just buy one thing at a time. It might save you a lot of money for anybody who's trying to, or who's thinking of investing in a studio space for themselves.
For me, I say advice I'd give to myself would be don't be afraid to make mistakes or to try new things. Because when I was first starting out, I was afraid to make that first post saying my shop is open, or afraid of dropping a new design because I was afraid of what people might think. But once you kind of get over that barrier of just post it for the sake of yourself, knowing that you made something that you're proud of, then that's it. It kind of starts there.
So I experienced something very similar to it. So for me, I was more, because I was working in such, I didn't know what I was going to do when I started making this. It was very daunting. I was like, if I make something, is someone going to like it? Is this supposed to get traction? Am I going to make money? But at the same time, I was kind of like, screw that. Just enjoy what you're doing. Put yourself out there. If you make money off of it, that's your extra bonus. So just enjoy what you're making. That's literally what you have to do. Just enjoy it.
I think for me, the first thing would be to start earlier and not wait. I wish I started when I was still in school and used all that extra time to actually make things. And I think the second thing would be to be patient and really explore my identity as a maker. And I think it's really easy to dive into something that's trendy at the moment and make something of that's along the line of that trend, but I don't think it's sustainable. So I think it's really important to build on your own style and develop on that and continue.
And also, I agree with what you guys said. Start early. So I feel like I should have started much earlier than I did. I was kind of waiting for the big moment to kind of realize what's going on or what I should do. But if some of you, for any reason, don't have Instagram yet or are not regular posters, if you start today, by the end of you graduating out of school or by next year, you will already have gotten so much more. So much more of a bigger audience and more following and people knowing you. So it's really about starting, that you just don't be afraid to start doing things and like take them seriously. I put this off for so long and it's always going to pay off in your own business.
Thanks, everyone. Steph, is your internet working? Do you want to answer this one? Okay, Steph, if you want to just put your answer in chat later, feel free. Then I think we have time for one more question, and that's from Diane. Did any of your parents, relatives, friends hinder you from starting your business, or were they supportive? And I suppose, like, how did you deal with that?
For me,
oh, go ahead. No.
Go ahead. Whoever. Well, what I was saying is friends and family were definitely very supportive. They were kind of my first customers, as you can say, and it kind of gave me the confidence to put more work out there. just positive reinforcement, I guess. But that's me personally. Yeah.
That's really heartwarming and great to hear.
I think for me, friends play a really big part. For my brand, like when I started doing like jewelry and selling them at craft shows and all that, my friends would come and support me. It doesn't really matter if they buy anything, it's really just being there. And my parents are also supportive near like now. In the beginning, I think they're kind of hesitant on like, is it really worth it to do it? Like, since there's so many brands out there already. But I think it's really important to believe in yourself and prove to them that you're working hard on it and show them the process and progress. And I think in the end, like people will see what you do and how hard you work. So
well, it's definitely good to have courage and not fear of making the work and put it out there. So are we having time for one more question? So any last minute question? Okay, so it looks like all the question that we can be asked is asked here. So thank you for everyone for joining this meeting and this panel here. If you have more questions, you can reach to this panelists through our OCAD Artist Alley Instagram. We will have their work and Instagram tag over there. So make sure to also visit our website. Have you guys all visited the website yet? Like we have been created so hard for it. That's good. So thank you everyone for joining this panel. I hope to see you guys again.
Do any of the panelists have any last remarks you want to leave everyone off with? No pressure. I'm also going to screen share our website, I think, so you guys can talk while I set that up.
I'd just like to say thank you for whoever organized this, everyone who was part of it. It's really an honor to be part of this, and especially in times like this where we can't really interact with other people. I'm very grateful for your hard work.
Thank you so much. Thank you for coming. Without you guys, it's impossible to have this panel.
Yeah, thank you to everybody that helped organize and host this. And I just want to say to anybody that's contemplating or thinking about doing their own thing or starting their business, starting to sell their work, do it. Just do it. There's always a million reasons not to do something, and it doesn't matter. Just do it. Just follow your heart.
Thank you, Michael. Okay, everyone, look at this. Is the website we have made. We have so many sleepless nights over here for just to make this website. So make sure to visit it and see how other OCAD make it.
Thank you, Wendy, for linking it. Yeah, we have searches. Ignore my searches. You can shop by products. You can shop by vendors. You can cute about us with pictures. Yeah, you can filter by categories if you are looking for jewelry. Oh, there's Michael's work. And then when you want to buy something, you can go straight to their store. Yeah, we even have sorting by alphabetical or by price.
Okay, it's good to check out our artists, like the artists like us, to see how other people do their work. So you will get some basic idea how to manage your work. So don't be afraid, just do it.
Yeah, go visit all of these wonderful panelists' store, like take inspiration from how they've set it up. They're all doing well, as you can see. Yeah. Okay, that was our self-promo.
Thank you for organizing.
Thank you for coming. Okay, I guess it's time for everyone to say goodbye. I will miss you all. Thank you.